Good morning. Welcome to today's class. And in the last class, we talked of some definitions with respect to ray optics, like refraction, refractive index, numerical aperture, acceptance angle, Snell's law, critical angle, total internal reflection, and even we derived relation among refractive index, numerical aperture, and acceptance angle. And next we talked of types of rays that are going to propagate through optical fiber, and as discussed there are two types of rays, meridional rays and skew rays. And slightly I have introduced skew rays, but in detail we studied about meridional rays, and whatever the relationships we have derived, all those hold good for meridional rays. And now let me extend my topic, the same types of rays, and I'll be considering the second part of the skew rays, second part of the types of rays, and that is skew rays. Already we talked of types of rays, meridional rays, and these are the rays that are supposed to pass through the fiber axis. And talking of skew rays, and these rays, these are not supposed to pass through the fiber axis, rather they'll be having some reflections with respect to the circumference of the core, but not the outer circumference, rather the inner circumference of the optical fiber, but never it's going to pass through the axis of the fiber. Okay, that's what we talked of in the previous class, and let me continue the same in this class. The transmitted rays that don't pass through the fiber axis, and those rays are called as skew rays, and these follow a helical path through the fiber while propagating from one end of the fiber to the other end of the fiber, and the helical path traced through the fiber gives a change in direction of 2 gamma at each reflection. Whenever the light ray is going to get reflected from the inner circumference of the core material, it's going to get a direction change of 2 gamma, where gamma is the angle between the projection of the ray in 2 dimensions and the radius of the fiber core at the point of reflection. I'll show that in the next slide, this figure. And when the light input to the fiber is non-uniform, skew rays will tend to have a smoothing effect on the distribution of the light as it is transmitted. That's how we are going to get some smooth light output, that means uniform light output at the output of optical fiber. And the amount of smoothing is dependent on the number of reflections encountered by the skew rays. Okay. These are the few points we can discuss with respect to skew rays. Let me show you the figure. And this is the figure. Therefore, a light ray is going to get incident on the inner surface of the core material, and this is going to get multiple reflections, but never it is going to pass through the fiber axis, and of course it's going to take helical path. This is already discussed in the previous class. Now check this one. Whenever a light ray is going to get reflected from the inner circumference of the core, and definitely it's going to have a direction change of 2 gamma. That's what we talked of, and of course gamma we have defined. Fine. Now let us try to consider a formula for the acceptance angle of the skew rays. Okay. Here no need to derive for this one, rather we can simply going to analyze the result. Okay. NA, and this is nothing but numerical aperture, which we have represented with sin theta A. Okay. That we have discussed with respect to meridional rays. Now here, as I am talking of skew rays, to differentiate this from the meridional rays, I have included suffix S. S stands for skew rays, because sin theta A is said to be the acceptance angle. As I have included S, this is nothing but the acceptance angle of the skew rays. Okay. And that is simply given by n1 square minus n2 square whole power 1 by 2 divided by cos gamma. Okay, and of course gamma is the angle of reflection we are going to have. Okay, therefore this is simply given as sin theta as cos gamma is equal to, we have brought this cos gamma to this side. Therefore this is equal to n1 square minus n2 square whole power 1 by 2. And already we are familiar with this one. That is equal to numerical aperture. Okay. Therefore sin theta as is equal to numerical aperture by cos gamma. From this we can write the acceptance angle. Nothing but theta as is equal to a sine inverse of Na by cos gamma. Okay. And if you are going to observe this particular condition, fine. Now let us try to differentiate between skew rays numerical aperture as well as meridional rays numerical aperture. In case of meridional rays numerical aperture, this is simply equal to sin theta. Whereas in the case of this skew rays, we have an additional factor which is equal to cos gamma. Okay. And of course gamma can take a maximum of 90 degrees. Therefore the maximum value for this cos gamma can be 1. Therefore if I need to talk of this sin theta, fine, this is going to be simply given by Na by cos gamma. And after all, the minimum numerical aperture for skew rays is going to be n1 square minus n2 square whole power 1 by 2 when the cos gamma value is equal to 1. If cos gamma is going to take a value which is less than 1, then definitely this is going to increase. Why? Because this cos gamma is going to have a value which is less than 1. Therefore something divided by a value which is less than 1, definitely the LHS value is going to increase. Therefore this sin theta is nothing but the numerical aperture with respect to meridional rays. Sin theta is said to be the numerical aperture with respect to skew rays, and that is equal to the numerical aperture in case of meridional rays divided by cos gamma. Therefore when compared, the skew rays numerical aperture is said to be higher in value. Okay? And that is the conclusion we can draw upon. Fine. In the previous figure, whatever the optical fiber that is shown, and that is nothing but step index fiber, and we have other type of optical fibers as well, graded index fiber. Even in this case also, skew rays are going to travel in the helical path. Fine. But here we are not going to have any sharp reflections, rather they are said to be smooth. Fine. It is a simple figure to show that even the skew rays are going to take helical path in case of graded index fiber. Okay. And this is one more figure simply to show the difference between meridional ray and skew ray. And try to consider this one. And this is said to be a meridional ray. Always is going to pass through the axis. Nothing but at any time it's going to be in the plane of axis of core. Okay. Whereas in the case of skew ray, never this is going to pass through the axis, nothing but never this ray is not going to be in the plane of axis. Simply to show the difference between these two, I have considered this slide. Now, knowing with meridional rays and skew rays, let's try to differentiate between meridional rays and skew rays. Fine. Fine. In the first column, I have considered meridional rays, and in the second column, I have considered skew rays. And the first basic difference between these two are that these rays are going to pass through the fiber axis, whereas in the case of skew rays, they don't pass through the fiber axis. And meridional rays are easy to track, and compared to this one, skew rays are said to be difficult to track. And talking of meridional rays, these have lesser power loss. Why? Because most of the signal is said to be passing through the fiber by means of bound rays only. Therefore, the signal is going to be restricted to the core itself. And under skew rays, it has got greater power loss. Why? Because most of the rays, while passing through, taking this helical path, most of the rays they are going to pass to the cladding surface, cladding material, and that's how here we'll be having greater power loss. The same here. Here the rays are said to be mostly confined to core, whereas these skew rays are said to be partially confined to the core, and that's how we got a greater power loss here and less power loss with respect to meridional rays. And already we talked of this one. Meridional rays has a smaller acceptance angle. Skew rays they have larger acceptance angle. Why? Because whatever may be the angle of incidence of light, it's going to get multiple reflections in order to get totally internally reflected. Okay. And last one, a lesser light gathering ability with respect to meridional rays, as the acceptance angle is said to be less. Similarly, the numerical aperture is said to be less, and here the light gathering ability is said to be higher. These are the some of the differences between meridional rays and skew rays. Mostly whenever light energy is lodged into the optical fiber, most of the rays are said to be skew rays. Fine. But as skew rays are said to be difficult to track, we are restricted to tracking meridional rays, but the tracking of meridional rays is itself suffice to get the information, nothing but with respect to the propagation of light. Okay. Let me consider a simple substitution problem with respect to meridional rays and skew rays. I read out the problem. An optical fiber in A has numerical aperture of 0.4. Compare the acceptance angle for meridional rays with that for skew rays, which change direction by 100 degrees at each reflection. Fine. And we are given with a value of numerical aperture. Fine. Directly we are given with this one. We are supposed to calculate the acceptance angle, and here again given that the skew rays they are going to change the direction by 100 degrees at each reflection. Fine. Therefore, as already talked of this one, skew rays they are going to change an angle of 2 gamma. Therefore, here we are given with 100 means, therefore 2 gamma will be equal to 100. Therefore, gamma will become 50 degrees. Then directly we can substitute them. The acceptance angle for meridional rays is simply given by theta A is equal to sine inverse numerical aperture. If we substitute that one, sine inverse of 0.4, which is equal to 23.6 degrees. Okay. And the skew rays change direction by 100 degrees at each reflection, that is with respect to skew rays. Therefore, gamma will be 100 by 2. Why? Because it's going to change direction by 2 gamma. Therefore, gamma is equal to 50 degrees. Hence, using the acceptance angle expression, a theta AS is equal to sine inverse of numerical aperture by cos gamma. And if you substitute the values, it is said to be 38.5 degrees. Okay. And from this simple figure, we can simply differentiate that skew rays are going to have a better acceptance angle when compared to meridional rays. And here we have a value of 23.6 degrees, and here we have 38.5 degrees. And almost it has increased by some 15 degrees. Okay. Therefore, as irrespective of the point of incidence with respect to the core, most of the light rays are going to pass through helical path, and that's how we'll be having more light rays which are going to pass by a helical